Who that? Is that Leah? Is that Lee?
Yep.
Oh, that Kendra right down there. That's a quick countdown.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello. We are here. We are ready. We are live. It is Monday. It is 6 p.m. And you know what that means. It's Green Table Live talk show time. So come on in, viewers. We are excited. We are excited. We are excited to have you all here on this evening. I'm having some hair function. Let me see. Get myself together. Okay. Better.
Okay.
So come on in, viewers. We are excited to be here. As you can see, we're in a different location. But we are here because we could not miss being here on today. So we are coming live from our Valdosta location. So we're in Valdosta, Georgia. Shout out Valdosta. Hello, hello,
Yes.
hello.
Greetings from our Valdosta Adult Day Center.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to jump right in. I'm Jessica Wright.
And I'm Ishonda Blue.
And we are your co-hosts of the Green Table Live Talk Show and your senior care experts. We're excited to be here with you on this Monday evening. Welcome to our long-standing viewers, our viewers who come every Monday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And to our newcomers, welcome to the Green Table Live Talk Show. I love to tell everyone why we do it, why we show up every single Monday here at 6 p.m. because we want to be a resource. We want to help you navigate through this maze called senior care, right? We know a lot of people do not know the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts, but Ishonda and I, we do. We have had personal experience, professional experience, and so we just want to share our knowledge. We want to share our resources to help you help keep your loved ones safe in their home and in their communities longer, because listen, this is going to hit every single household. So we want to just give you the tips, the tools, the resources that you need that can help you assist your loved ones. And so that's why we do what we do. Ishonda, can you tell our viewers a little bit about who we are?
Just a little bit about who we are on tonight. First of all, we're just so glad to be here. We wasn't here last week, and anyway, we just hate not showing up. Like this is a staple. Like this is something we have to do. But we are your senior care experts. We are your sisters. We are registered nurses. We have 40 something plus years experience in long-term care and taking care of seniors. We are your number one choice. Oh, we got a t-shirt today. Your number one choice for adult daycare. And that is who we are on tonight. That is what we do. And turn it back over to you.
All right. Well, tonight, this evening, we're going to talk about social isolation. I don't know why we can't say it.
Sure.
Social isolation,
Yes.
which is one of the major causes of cognitive decline in seniors. So we want to shed some light on social isolation and tell you how this impact our seniors and how this causes a decline in them. And so we're just going to talk a little bit about it, have a good discussion. Please join in on a discussion. Put your questions, comments, your amens, your experience that you have seen with your loved one in the chat, right? We want to talk about it. This is a community of like-minded individuals who are here to support and to learn. So let's jump in.
So, Jessica, I think first of all, I want to share a statistic because we were looking at some numbers today, and we saw that social isolation causes 50% decrease in cognitive impairment. So I thought that was like, wow, like
50?
That's 50,
half
50%.
Wow. That's
social isolation, 50%.
Did you all hear that? That is like alarming. So isolation is real. Social isolation is real, and the impact, the effect it has on our seniors is real, 50%. So yes, we need to talk about this. And so we're going to just take a deeper dive, and we're going to talk about some of the other causes, right? 3 ways social isolation impacts brain health. We're going to also talk about some ways, the 5 effective brain health activities and exercise that can be done at home, right? So we just want to give you some tips, some tools, and resources that you can do at home. You can help your loved one stay active and not feel isolated.
So let's start with, first of all, defining what social isolation is. And I think I'm too guilty of not really knowing the clear definition until I read it on this evening when we were doing some research. So social isolation is a lack of meaningful interaction with others, and it is different from loneliness, because I think we all think is loneliness just from being alone. But no, social isolation, here are some examples. They said, although it is linked to loneliness, here are some common causes of social isolation. Number 1 is loss of a spouse. And I think we can definitely understand and empathize there. I can remember when our grandmother lost our granddad, and that is one of the causes of social isolation. So loss of a spouse is number 1. Number 2, retirement.
Wow.
Retirement.
But it makes sense though, right? I mean, when you have a spouse or you are working, you're with people, right? You're among your peers. You're always in communication with someone, right?
And I think another big part to that, Jessica, is purpose. When you have a spouse, you have purpose. When you have a career, a job, or whatever that you're doing on a daily basis, you have purpose. And it's like it's a loss of purpose. And so those were the top 2: loss of spouse, retirement. Number 3 is mobility issues.
I want to go back to those top 2, because we see a lot of times, like when people lose their spouse or when they stop working, we see people, they die. And
we never knew why.
Right. Social isolation.
Social isolation.
And so, so we wonder why, like when the spouse, they be together for 50 years and then you just see the other spouse just, pass away just like that. Somebody stopped working, they in good health, and they, they finna retire, right? And then boom.
Yeah.
Social isolation.
Social isolation. So it's not just loneliness, y'all. It's these things that we're talking about now that causes it. We talked about mobility issues, hearing loss.
Because you don't want to be around people because you can't hear, or you feel like you keep asking people the same thing, your hearing aid going off. I just remember experiencing with our grandparents and just seniors in general.
Yeah, we see that a lot. And then lack of transportation.
Yes.
They can't get out.
Right.
Or they don't want to be a burden on someone to have to go somewhere. That's probably the biggest thing, because they're not going to ask for help. They don't want to be a burden.
And then family is working. They have their own family. They're taking care of their lives. And so that means that they just say, I'll say nothing, right? It won't be a burden.
Yeah. And then living alone. Living alone. So these are the common causes of social isolation. I'm going to say them again: loss of a spouse, retirement, mobility issues, hearing loss, lack of transportation, and living alone. If any of those things I just named in your family member, your senior loved one, that touches any of them, they may be dealing with social isolation.
Yeah. So chime in the chat. Let us know if we said something that was like a light bulb. It's like, aha.
Yeah.
That is it.
And we're talking about, this is one of the main reasons for cognitive declines in seniors. It's the 50% cause of cognitive decline in seniors. So it also says, Jessica, seniors in rural areas are the ones with health conditions at higher risk.
Oh my goodness. Like, I feel like screaming, because I'm telling you, we always say that adult day is the best kept secret. And like, we have the hardest time trying to get seniors out to come to the adult day center in our rural area. Like, if it's in Atlanta or upstate, like these people, our cousin that lives in Rochester, New York, he was like, oh, I'm going to the senior center. I'm finna go. That because he was that was his life, right? Fast paced, moving, going, and seniors who live in rural areas, they stay at home a lot, right? The seniors, they just didn't really go a lot of places. I don't know.
Right.
But it's just so hard.
Yeah.
Rural areas. So we just need you baby boomers, you individuals who are taking care of your loved ones. We got to strongly encourage them to get out amongst their peers, to socialize, because I was telling someone today, if you don't use it, you lose it.
That's right. And again, those that live in rural areas are at higher risk. And again, and this is for clarification too, studies show that isolation can increase the risk of dementia by up to 50%. Increase the risk of dementia by up to 50%. So let's talk about well, these are some, I'm going to share a few things that social isolation can also lead to, which is depression, stress, anxiety, and can also, negatively impact cognitive loss and things of that nature, as well as mental issues and concerns. So that is also some of the things that we need to be aware of when it comes to social isolation. I think we've done a good job of defining what social isolation is and how it is a great impact on causing people to have dementia. Now, let's talk about some of the warning signs.
Okay.
Let's talk about some of the warning signs that you should be looking out for social isolation. I just made up a word, social isolation.
Mhm.
So number one is withdrawal from activities that they once enjoyed.
Mhm.
Um, something that they used to love to do, and all of a sudden they're not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, that is a early warning sign. Another one is poor hygiene or neglect of personal care. Okay, you know, dad's not shaving, um, mom's not combing her hair,
Mhm.
you know, things of that nature. Poor hygiene and neglect of personal care is a warning sign. Increase confusion and forgetfulness. Increased confusion or forgetfulness is also a warning sign. And then changes in mood, such as depression, or they just real irritable. Like, you know,
Mm.
they can, you know, anything you say just kind of sets them off. They're very irritable. These are some warning signs.
And I can see how it is so closely related, or why social isolation um increase the risk of dementia for 50%, because those signs and symptoms are kind of the same, right?
Yeah.
When you see those in individuals that have dementia, um, and it could end with social isolation as well.
Yeah.
So they kind of run hand in hand. When you were saying, I was like, well, those are kind of the same signs and symptoms in dementia.
Yeah. Yeah. So we just went over some warning signs. So now we're going to talk about some things that we can do to combat it, right? To combat social isolation. Number one is adult day. That is just no, it has nothing to do with us. It is just the number one thing to do. If you can get your loved one out of their home to an adult day, that's gonna address all the issues that we just talked about. They don't have to go every day. It can be 2 or 3 days a week. They can have home care, and they can still have home care and attend adult day. They don't have to choose between the two. So number one is get your family member to adult day.
And the one thing, while we keep saying adult day, because a lot of people are on, what do you call it?
Structure.
No, herbals and, organic, health, natural things. This does not involve any medication.
Mm.
That's where I was coming from.
Yeah.
Adult day is just you get physical stimulation, mental stimulation, cognitive stimulation, all the things, and it is drug free.
Yes.
Just coming, interacting with peers, moving, being stimulated.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So that's number one, adult daycare. Number two, we're going to talk about some things you can do in the home too. But number two is teaching seniors how to use technology. Some of the examples they gave was video calls, social media, and messaging apps. Right. So this is number two. This is another way that you can combat social isolation. Pet therapy.
Yes.
And we've seen that work.
I use that for myself.
Listen, Jessica had a Skip was his name, and that's when she was living. We were living with grandma, and grandma had also taken a liking to Skip, and he was there. Skip was there when you went to work.
Was there? Listen, we are from rural South Georgia. We're from the country. And in the country, we have dogs, and the dogs stay outside. So that's just what my grandma, that's how we was raised. That's what it was. And so I like, well, I'm gonna try to bring this little dog in the house. And I was like, my grandma was not hearing it. But I'm telling you, that became her best friend.
It did.
He loved her and she loved him. That was when I was gone. She talked to Skip and Skip understood. So listen.
She was feeding Skip from the table.
Pet therapy is real.
Yes.
It works.
It does. It does. And that can help reduce loneliness. Of course, regular check-ins from family, caregivers, community members, all of that can and still does make a difference. That is important too. I want to talk about, and then of course, little small things like phone calls, scheduled visits, inviting them out to social gatherings. All of this can help. Oh, taking them to church, going to church is still good. So those are a few efforts that can help combat. And then I also want to talk about some brain exercises, things that can be done in the home. Um, number one, reading. That was number one on the list. As
Wow.
brain exercise, brain activity is daily reading or journaling. So it can be as simple as reading the newspaper, reading a book, reading the Bible, devotionals, anything like that. But reading is number one. It's a number one brain activity that can be done at home. Number two is puzzles and brain games. That's your crossword puzzles, that's Sudoku, word searches, anything like that. Those are very good. Matching cards. These are good games, brain games that can be done at home. Number three is listening to music and sing-alongs.
Oh yeah, that's recall. That's all the things.
Listening to music and sing-along. So this can also improve the mood, memory recall, language skills.
You know what? One of our clients' family members was here, and he was getting interviewed, and he was talking about his mom and how his mom, she had some dementia or Alzheimer's, but he said she was a singer, and he was like she could remember every word to a song though. Like she could forget other things, but what she loved to do, sing, she knew every word. Amazing.
Yes.
And then we had some people chiming in the chat. They said this is great information. Mel chimed in and said her father-in-law is 88. He's still on the go, and like that is what's keeping him young.
Yes.
And then I just remember we have a friend on Facebook who was in a group, and his dad is 98 or 95. What do you call it?
95.
Listen, he be in Ghana, he be driving,
he be cutting the grass,
all the things. Listen, you got to keep going, you got to keep moving. That is it. Staying active, involved.
This is my last tip. You just led me right into it. Is movement with mindfulness. And the examples they gave is chair yoga, stretching, light movement exercise combined with breathing or guided meditation support the brain function, improving the blood flow, and reduces stress.
Wow.
Yes. So we got to keep moving. So, I was just so excited about talking about this topic and definitely making sure people knew, first of all, what is social isolation? What causes it? What are some warning signs? These are the things that we covered on tonight. And then how you can combat it. So I hope that these tips were helpful on tonight. I don't know if anybody recapped them in the chat for us, but I will probably do this is so good. This is worth a post, right? So I'll probably do an educational post on this as well, because it is just such good information.
Let's see. Miss Gussie said, my mom used to go to the senior center here, but I can't get my mom to go out. But it doesn't work. My mom hasn't been to church in a few months. So, you're going to make sure, I'm going to put those things in the chat, the things that she can do at home. Because some people, it may be some arthritis, it may be something like that is keeping her from wanting to move, wanting to go. So let's look deeper. It's something that is keeping her from going out since she was going. So it may be an underlying issue or problem. So look a little deeper, Miss Millett.
She could be afraid too. So it may be going with her. Maybe just go with her the first day. And see will that help because she may not want to go by herself,
Yeah.
or she may, may not be open or afraid of meeting new people, new situations. So it may be you may want to go with her the first time. And then there is a ton of things you can do at home. Like Jessica said, she's going to list them. I thought it was interesting that reading was top of the list, giving them the newspaper. A lot of people don't use the newspaper like they used to, but this is a good activity that you can give them just to say, hey, mom or dad, because the first thing you see on the front page is the date, the month, the day of the week, the year, and just interact with them from that standpoint. What is the date? What's going on in the city today? What's in the headlines? And they'll read. They can read, and it doesn't feel like it's an activity. They're just reading the news.
That's right. And listen, Miss Milledge, I know you said she's 93. We have a young lady. She's at our center, and she's 99. She just turned 99, and you would not think that she was 99. So listen, I'm telling you, just getting up, getting out. She comes only 2 times a week. That is so beneficial to her, and so let's try it, and let's see, because we don't know how great of a benefit just getting out of the home, getting with the peers, something that's not medicine, none medication, but it's good for her physically, mentally, all the things. So
it's brain health,
yes,
for sure.
Yes, let's see. Let me see. I got some more things in here. Let's see. Is it possible you can do a future chat on how to get dementia patients to change clothes daily? Yes.
Coming to you next week, Lisa.
Yes. Listen, we know all the challenges. This is the place that we need to really come in. Let's talk about it, because other people may have tips, and you're not in it alone.
That's right.
So we want to share all the tips, all the resources, and how you can better help and take care of your loved ones. So I'm glad you all are chiming in and talking with us, sharing, and so we can help and support one another. Yes. You are welcome, Miss Gussie. Yes. All right. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Well, viewers, thank you all for coming, chiming in. Listen, one thing I do want you to do, I want you to share this on your platform. I want you to tag individuals that you know who are taking care of loved ones who need to be in this community, right? We come every Monday, it's free. We just want to share. We have a mandate to sound the alarm, to let seniors, caregivers know about resources, tools, tidbits, ways that they can better take care of their loved one and keep them in their home and community longer. That's why we're here.
That's right.
So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you right back here 6 p.m. on Monday. All right?
All right. See you guys next week.